Well, yet again, stuck at a shipper. It seems like every time I get a load going to a Walmart DC, it never seems to fail that the shipper is incredibly slow or has problems with the product or whatnot every single time. And it's always Walmart. Pays good, pays good. Almost every Walmart load I ever got pays good, or the broker will work with me because Walmart pays, I'm assuming. And that's how that's going. So I've sat here now at going on 7 hours. Yep. Get here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Came up on Fredericksburg. Missed all the snow and everything, and came up to Baltimore. Pretty much, I'm right next to the port of Baltimore, picking up fish, frozen fish. A place called MTC. It's a good. It's a good shipper. I mean, there's overnight parking. There's free coffee and hot chocolate in the vending machine. It just douses it out. There's a couple other vending machines. The office clerk, she was nice. So, that case, it's not that bad. I could have been waiting here for 6 hours and had, talked to a real ignorant office clerk like usual. But it feels like they just decided to start loading me. I guess they had to pick the orders. So I'm guessing nothing was pre-picked or whatnot. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're making the orders. So I'm going to talk about a few things, I guess, concerning like detention pay and stuff. If you're new, just started this, or you just became an owner operator or whatnot, here's the problem with detention and stuff. Most of these brokers, they already have the detention pay and everything laid out in their carrier packets. Whatever your carrier signed, it's pretty much going to be the detention time and or truck order not used or whatnot. You're going to get. That's just the way it is. You can sometimes, I guess if you really check the address and you see the Google reviews and it's really dramatic, sometimes you can ask, or like beg the broker to see if they'll give you a higher detention pay, just because the nature of the place, or maybe they'll add on a few, like $200 onto the rate. I've had that happen a few times, but usually you're screwed. You're screwed, especially if you're leased to a carrier. Now if let's say you're an actual owner operator with your authority. Now we'll go on to that. When you get these carrier packets, X things out, put your rate in. If they won't do it, you're going to have to decide whether or not how much you actually need that brokerage. Me personally, I'd say screw it. They probably I know you're not going to change TQL's mind. You're not going to change a few of the big ones, because they got an influx of guys that have no business experience and probably shouldn't be out here, that are basically going door to door with their lawnmower and knocking on the door and being like, "Hey, I'll mow your lawn for $20." That's basically what you have out here. So that, given that note, don't be surprised if they tell you to go F off. It's just going to happen. Me personally, when if I start my authority up again, which I don't know, I started it during coronavirus and I stopped it. I saw where things were going, and I guess I got cold feet per se. I kind of wish I kept it. If I knew it would have been this good, I probably kind of wish I just went with it. But I got cold feet, and I have a family and stuff, and I didn't want to basically burn my bridges with my wife, I guess you could say. I'm pretty sure if I would have just jumped in and it, there in the beginning, when coronavirus got real bad and nothing was moving, I'm pretty sure she'd be looking at me a little upset. So going on, I kind of go off on a tangent up there. Going on back to rate confirmation. I mean, not rate confirmations. Carrier packets. Read them line per line. Go through them. X things out. Ask what you want. maybe work with the broker to get either close or kind of what you want. I to be honest, detention time should not be under $50 an hour at all. Period. It probably should be like $75 an hour. Dump trucks are they get paid detention. They're getting paid. They're usually same hourly rate, $80 or $90, $100 an hour. When I did oil field, I got the merge. The merge was like $75 an hour. I think a few times it was more than that. I kind of don't want to say it's suit and tie. I'm kind of copying somebody here, but I kind of don't want to say it's suit and tie guys are basically taking advantage of the little guy, the farmer, the owner operator, whatnot, anything you want to call it. They know they can persuade you into doing what they want and getting what they want. Quit doing it. Quit doing it. I know there's tons of other sleazebags that'll do it, but name your rate, name your price. If it's something totally ridiculous, don't just do it, to do it. There's been a few times when I was doing flatbed, I was up in New England, and I deadhead all the way home to Pennsylvania because the prices were that ridiculous. They were offering me loads, 46, 47, 48,000 pound loads for $300, $250 to go back to Pennsylvania or in that direction or down that way. Loads out of New England area, like Massachusetts stuff. They were offering me, like Flagstone, stuff like that, to North Carolina for like $800. This was what, 2008? I was getting some of these numbers, or 2018. I mean, I was getting some of these numbers. So I said, screw it. I'll head home first. I'll pick, and I did. I mean, business-wise, it's technically not smart, but I'm not going to run somebody's stuff for free. And you don't really have that problem right now. I mean, there are still, I still see loads on the load boards that are, would be ridiculously priced 4 years ago, and they're priced that way now. So, if you're going to come out here and get your authority, or even be an owner-operator, just, I'm trying to think of something I read, a book. Just get some business knowledge. There's so much knowledge here on YouTube. DIY semi, Cash is King. Let's see, who else? Kenny Long. There's so much business knowledge within the trucking industry that you can find out. This is not you. Most guys, here's what they think. Like I made the comparison about knocking on the doors with your lawnmower. Most guys, they jump into this and they feel it's like that. They feel that all they have to do is call up a broker, and and they're going to send them the rate confirmation, and they're good to go, and they make their money. There's a lot more than just making your money. There's so many different variables, and the problem is you start running your business like that, you're going to be taken advantage of. Period. Unless your costs are so incredibly low that and I bet you there's a few older owner operators, or maybe even new ones, that have a paid off truck, paid off trailer, and they have so many brokers calling them, it's ridiculous, because they're running loads for right now probably $2 a mile, and they think they're doing great. They're racking up miles, and they're making their $6,000 a week, or their $5,000 a week gross or whatnot, and they're happy, and good for them, good for them. There's probably also these overseas carriers too that are running guys that don't even have their CDL and stuff, that are doing the same thing, and that's what's illegal as fuck, and it should be dealt with. But FMCSA has, other problems. They got their own things to worry about, like seeing how hard they can, shake us upside down and get money out of our pockets, half the time. But, the more guys that they get smart in this business, and can properly run their business, which that's what this is, a business, the more it's going to eventually have to persuade brokers to pay these extra fees. And I know right now the brokers are like, oh, we're already paying $4 a mile on just about every load that goes out the door and stuff like that. Okay. And what about me? Well, I'm not paying like $4 a gallon of fuel, $4.50 almost in Pennsylvania right now. I'm not buying tires that are now like 30 to 40% more expensive than they were. What, my truck runs on hopes and dreams, it just don't cost me a dime. So, and what happens if I wanted to buy a new one? Look at the prices. I mean, if anybody ever sees this as a broker, which I highly doubt it, just look at prices on equipment. It's that simple. Everybody's hope. Even some truck drivers are like, man, this can't sustain. When have you ever seen new cars or new equipment prices or anything go up and then ever come back down? The only way this is ever going to change, these rates, is if there's an economic collapse. That's the only way you're going to get these rates to go down. I think that's the only way you're going to get the equipment prices to go down too. I'm sorry to say. If I was a dealership or a manufacturer, right now I had people banging on my door willing to buy trucks that I was producing last year for $140,000 that I'm now selling for $180,000 or $200,000, and they're selling out. Why would I lower my prices back down? Why? The only way I would lower my prices back down if I knew I could not ever sell one. And that ain't going to happen overnight. That's going to be like months, maybe a year-long process. And like I said, it would have to be an economic collapse. If brokers turned around tomorrow and started paying, 2 or 3 year old rates, the mega carriers would still be running. They'd probably take a loss for a year. They'd have a hell of a lot of turnover because they would start, lowering pay and everything. But I would say like 80% of the owner-operators would go out of business. And you know what? If they did that, I'm kind of wondering if this is a whole kind of, I wouldn't say like just scheme for the trucking industry, but I would say a scheme for, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but just to change hands of wealth. Once you knock out your competition and then you regulate them, your competition isn't coming back. So let's say they do that. You're only going to have like mega carriers running, and then they'll take up these owner operators real cheap. They'll buy equipment real cheap, and then they'll have regulations passed in Congress, and it's just going to corner the market in the big guy's favor. So that's my little conspiracy theory, but take it with a grain of salt. But like I said, know your worth. Invest in yourself, invest in your business, get as much knowledge as you can out here. It's just some little video I just threw together because I'm sitting here for 6 hours and I'm bored. So, like, subscribe, comment. It'll make my life a lot easier. I could probably actually do videos that would inform and help instead of just random thrown together crap like this. I'm not going to invest in better cabinet or equipment or anything until I get a bigger base watching this. I don't know. Right now I'm just doing this to help people and to pass the time, really. So until next time, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, please. be safe out there. That's storm right now. What that snowstorm up in New England is really probably kicking your guy, some of you guys' asses. Slow down. Ain't worth it. Change your appointment times. Call the broker. Be safe out there.